living well on Light Rock. Spinal fusion is major surgery, but it's not as frightening as it might sound. Here to tell us all about it is Dr. Barrett Woods. He's a spinal surgeon with the Rothman Institute. So what exactly is spinal fusion and what should people know about it?
Well, one of the most gratifying things about my job is seeing people coming in with that initial apprehension or fear about a procedure, spinal fusion. Everyone has seen someone or heard of someone who had a spinal fusion that was not necessarily successful. Spinal surgery, which is done for the proper indications, people do extraordinarily well. For the cervical spine, if your spinal cord is compressed by disc herniations or bone spurs, removing the pressure off your spinal cord and nerve roots is very successful. A fusion will stabilize the bones together to prevent those nerves from being pinched in the future. The procedure takes about an hour or two. One of the common misconceptions or fears is that people will lose motion after surgery, and oftentimes there's not really an appreciable loss of motion after a fusion procedure.
I have to say, I had this done about 10 years ago, C4 and C5, and I'm so glad I did it. I was back to my regular activities within a few weeks, and I was scared, of course, whenever you get surgery, but I was really glad I did it. But I didn't have a lot of pain. I had tingling in my fingers, so
Sure.
That is a symptom people should really watch out for.
It's kind of fascinating because spinal cord compression may not necessarily present with pain. It often happens in people above 50, and what they notice is a loss of function. They start losing balance, subtly lose manual dexterity, or have tingling in their hands as you experienced, and that may ultimately be a result of spinal cord compression. People often attribute that to just aging, but if you have any of those symptoms, you should certainly be evaluated.
I was told I was at risk for being paralyzed, so I immediately took action and got surgery. And then there's also lumbar fusion.
Sure. Lumbar fusion is a little different. Lumbar fusion is needed in people who have instability between vertebral bodies, a term called spondylolisthesis. If the vertebral bodies are moving abnormally, it will pinch nerves. If you have a fracture, oftentimes you will need a fusion as well. Lumbar fusion is not necessary in everyone, and so there are very strict indications for people who should actually have a lumbar fusion.
All right, well, good information. Thanks so much, Dr. Barrett Woods of the Rothman Institute, and you're living well on Light Rock 96.9 WFPG.